wanted to add a running board to the side of the van, and I wasn't sure if I should do it right away. It seemed kind of like a luxury type project rather than a necessity, but I've got the kit now, and I think that this is probably a good idea because I haven't put the floor in the van yet, and there will be some holes that need to screw from under the van to hold the brackets. This is a Luverne running board kit that I actually bought from Napa Auto Parts. They had a great sale, and so I went ahead and took advantage of it to pick this up, and I think I saved about $50 off, which was nice. It came with the running board that I just showed you, and then this kit that has 3 different brackets that need to be attached to the van, and as you can see, there are screws on both sides of the bracket, which means that they're going to be attached both to the pinch weld on the bottom of the van and then also through a hole up through the floor of the van. So I have all this, and I'm going to work on that later, but the first thing I wanted to do after checking to make sure that I have all of the supplies that I need is to go ahead and put the end caps on the running board and get that ready to go outside and do the rest of the project. I chose this particular model because of the open mesh here and the grip here that will help knock some dirt off the shoes. Since we plan to be out in the woods, in the wild a lot, I don't want to be tracking a ton of dirt into the van. So I'm real happy with the format of this, and it doesn't feel like it would really hurt to step on it barefoot, which is nice. And also we've got little Forrest to consider, and I was a little concerned about, you know, looking at it initially, would that hurt his feet? I think it will be okay, but if it does bother him, then we can actually cover a portion of this with a piece of plastic or foam or something to protect his paws as he jumps up. And it's all metal except for the end caps. It comes with 2 of these end caps and screws, and these are just going to attach right here on the end and then get screwed in. I started working on my running board, which is going to go right here by the slider door, back when I was in my apartment, but because of weather and other reasons I couldn't get it done. So now I'm kind of back to the drawing board as I'm trying to double check all my parts. Everything has a different number. So this is the number for the grip step, and this is a different number, but it says grip step application. There are numbers here for parts that don't necessarily match up with numbers here, so it's a little confusing, but I think I'm going to be able to make sense of it all by following the diagram, if I can put it right side up, and hopefully get it sorted so I can get it installed. All right, I think I'm almost ready to crawl into the van and get this going. The first thing to do is make sure I know the position under the van, and you can see right here where it shows you the contours of the van, and that lines up with this curve in here, which also lines up somewhere along here. I'm going to crawl into the van. I'm going to figure that out and mark some holes. I have to do 2 holes right there on the front, those 2 holes, and then the center 2 holes here need to be marked and drilled out in the van, so that is holes in the van. But I'm going to go ahead and get those marked, and actually I will mark all 3 of the brackets from underneath and then come out with my drill and make some holes. All right, so one thing I like about this instructions, yeah, I keep turning them upside down. I need to put a big arrow on. Right side up, okay. It does show you, following the pattern of the van, what the dimensions need to be. So the first measurement I need is 37 inches. Beep, 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 beep. Ah. My mom said that I can't tell the neighbors to shut up. I wish I could. 37 inches, we're going quick. From here, on the edge of the wheel well, to, I'm just gonna hold that because it keeps falling. It comes up right nicely next to the seat. Right here, there's a little piece welded. And I'll need to carry that down here so I can see it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mark the 39 inches. Yep, it shows you 37 is where you start, which is the entrance to the door. 39 is the other end. It doesn't show you the measurement for the middle, but that's pretty easy to figure out. So from that mark back, 39 inches is actually right about here. And I'll go ahead and double check that, but it makes sense to measure twice and drill once. But actually my preference would be to go ahead and have it be a little bit further forward, because with the kitchen coming out halfway here, we won't really be using that portion of this, what am I putting in? My brain, oh my brain. The running board. So, oh goodness. And I'll make sure I have the bracket oriented, but I did go ahead and just label them. This is the front, and it's gonna fit this way underneath the van so that this part like sticks out like that. It says using the holes in the bracket as a reference, mark the center of 2 holes in the pinch weld and 2 holes in the floor. So actually, after I determine placement, I'm supposed to secure that bracket with a clamp, and it's possible that undercoating may need to be scraped off, but I think when I was under here before, that didn't look to be the case. So, and this part goes up against, and I sure hope that's not my dog barking. There's the other hole right there.
𝘍𝙗𝙤,
Yes?
you hear your dog?
I was hoping it wasn't him.
I was just trying to vacuum the sofa, and it sets him off every time.
I want to show you something, so come join me under the van. All right, the marks for my bracket are here, 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 and right here. And that's already a hole that's drilled out. I'm not thrilled about drilling right next to it. I feel like I need a little more space. I am going to go ahead and remark those with black so I know which holes to drill and do that. It's just a 3/4 of an inch or so, so I don't think it will make a difference for the installation based on the design of the running board. And I'm going to go ahead and just make that shift. But I wanted to show you that. And they do say that sometimes, you know, all this undercoating may need to be scraped off to be flat. Mine is not too lumpy. I just have this little piece, and I might actually break that off with a screw so it's flat. And then I'll be good to go. And on this side, my bracket is going to be coming up against this metal piece here, and this piece is going to have to come out as well. Okay, I just made another executive decision. I don't want to drill right there or right there, so I'm going to shift this bracket over just enough so that I'm clearing this. That's part of the integral part of the van, I guess. And I'm going to have to cut off that little bit of undercoating. The way that the running board is designed, it's one long column, so it is possible to shift the brackets just a little bit. I wouldn't shift too far because that will leave you with kind of a bouncy end, I would think, but I don't think it's going to be a problem to just shift a couple inches this way. All right, this is definitely not going to be the easiest position to drill from. And it goes this way. Okay, goodness gracious. I do not like the looks of that hole. My drill is acting up, and it's possible that it's operator error since I'm not an expert in drills. But I managed to, when I was putting this first bracket on, somehow I got these 2 holes right, and I really effed up this one over here. I don't know how, but I did. It's off by like, I don't know, ½ an inch. It is getting hot, getting towards the end of the day, and I'm gonna take a break and come back to this in the morning when I have fresh eyes. And yeah, I think that's probably the smartest thing to do. Well, good morning. I am ready to get back at it, at least for a little while. It's not quite 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've got church with my parents today at 10, so I think I can get in a good hour 15 or so of work, and maybe that'll be enough for me for the running board, or at least to get the holes drilled and the brackets mounted. I think I said yesterday the instructions are a little bit confusing, so hopefully I can make sense of all the little, I think they call them pin diagrams. Little confusing, some of the lines, it's kind of hard to tell where they really go. So anyway, I'm going to work on that for a little bit and try to just keep making progress, because I'm down here for 3 weeks from yesterday. Andy will be here in 2, so we'll have 1 week to work together, hopefully on cabinetry and things like that. But I'm starting to be a little bit panicked that I'm not getting things done as quickly as I want to, because every time I turn around, there's another order to be made, and another trip to the hardware store, or something's missing, all of those kind of things, which is just par for the course with a van build, I'm sure, but it does slow me down. One of the first things I need to do is prime the holes that I made yesterday in the bottom of the van. So I'm going to go ahead and just dab some of this on so that those are not exposed. And I do need to also drill 1 more hole because I was off in my measurements, even though I measured like 3 times. So I don't know, my brain was not fully present yesterday, I guess. Another thing that I didn't do yesterday was put my safety glasses on, which is not so smart. I tend to use my glasses and say, oh, well, I've got glasses on, so I'm good. But with metal shavings, I could definitely get in the side there, which would be pretty dangerous. I don't want to have an eye injury. That would not be a fun way to start this adventure. All right, let's see. Wait, I need my safety glasses. Where have I put them? I keep losing things and my neck hurts. So I am pre-drilling with a smaller bit, and I was reading last night about how to get better holes in metal because I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. And what I read was to definitely pre-drill, and then also to use the drill on lower speed with less pressure, and to really let the drill bit do the work. So those were a couple tips, and then also using this to start with a divot if I can't get a full hole. And that will give my drill bit a place to rest so it doesn't walk around on the surface. So that's what I'm doing right now. And honestly, not much of anything is happening. And I do think, just saying, that if I had realized how hard it would be to drill these holes in the metal, I would have hired somebody, because it's not a complicated project. It probably wouldn't cost too much to have somebody put it in. But it's not easy. Hi, dog. You helping? Well, I almost gave up this morning. I went to church, I had a nap, decided to come back at it, and I just finally got through my pre-drills with a 1/8 inch drill bit, and I'm going to see if I can use the appropriate size drill bits to get the rest of the way through. And this is just on the rearmost brackets. I still have the middle and a hole to fix on the front, so cross your fingers for me that I'll get it done. Would you look at that? 2 1/4 inch holes. And I did notice that my drill bit was getting stuck as I was going in here. It would just like stop. So when I pulled it out and we'd get up to speed a little bit before I put it in the hole, that seemed to help. Since I've pre-drilled the small holes, I can actually come through from the other side of the pinch weld, which should be a lot easier in terms of the positions that I'm not laying on my back to do these. And here's the outside view and my big ol' Mac Daddy 11/32 of an inch drill bit for these holes in the pinch weld. So I'm gonna get to that. All right, I was just kidding. This is a 3/16 inch bit. I'm gonna step up to 11/32 because it's a pretty big jump. I did it. It took like 4 or 5 different drill bits stepping up to get to that stage, but the holes are done for the rearmost bracket, and I'm gonna go ahead and fit it and then work on the front and center ones. All right, this is the space for the front bracket, and I'm having a little trouble getting it to fit. And I don't know if you can see here that there's a little bit of undercoating here, and it did say in the instructions that you might need to remove some of the undercoating to get the bracket to fit properly. So I'm not sure if that's the issue or not. There's also like a little burr there from drilling the hole, so I'm going to go ahead and try to smooth that out to see if I can get the bracket to fit properly, because right now it doesn't want to. Hello, welcome back to the bottom of my bed. I have, let's see, what have I done? I've primed right here, and I scraped out a little bit of the undercoating, and I'm going to try to get the brackets in. So let's see if this works. I've lost count of how many times I've climbed under the van, so my abs are going to be in good shape. And I'm doing an exceptional job today of losing things. Every time I put down a screw or something, I seem to lose it. So I bet these are going to roll away and hide from me too. So this comes through here. Oh goody, now that I've fixed that burr. Oh, dang it. I guess I somehow didn't really fix that burr. Stay tuned.